Hi, I wanted to talk about a solo performance that I did um, in 2017. Um, I went to university for 1 year and I studied contemporary theatre and performance. Um, I passed my first year at uni, but then I had to drop out after that because of personal reasons. Um, but whilst being at uni, we had to do a solo performance about anything that was personal to you, and it had to be 10 minutes long. Um, and I really struggled with that because um, I find it really hard to get personal, and so yeah, I find it hard. Um, but my original idea was to wear a mask and have a voiceover, background voiceover, saying this is how a clock ticks, just as a brain ticks. But what happens when a brain stops ticking? And I also wanted another voiceover saying there comes a time in a person's life where they have to choose between turning the pages and closing the book. It was just supposed to be poetic. I don't know. I just made it up. I had the idea of like what I meant by it is to turn the pages. It's to it's to is to do another day. Um, and to close the book, it means that you're done, that you give up. So yes, turning the pages means that you want to keep trying, but closing the book means that you don't want to try anymore. Um, but my teachers at uni felt like I lacked a meaning. They felt like I didn't have any personal reason for doing that. And I quite liked the idea. I thought it would have been good. Anyway, so I had to think of a new idea, and I remember there was 24 hours left for the day of my performance, and I had no idea what I was going to be performing. So I had 24 hours left to think of something to do, to create something, to perform, to rehearse it, and yeah, I didn't have any idea what to do. So my flatmate Emily, who was also in my group, she knew how much I hated taxi drivers, and she knew what happened the last time I went out clubbing, and she said, why don't you do a performance about a movement sequence about a night out, about the night out that I had, and show show what happened in the night through actions. So I told my group why I hate taxi drivers, and but the thing is that at uni, when I did my performance, I got a good grade for it. But yeah, I got a really good grade for that actually. But I didn't get good feedback for the video where I had to talk about my performance because the teacher told me that I didn't explain my idea very well. But it's been 4 years, so I'm ready to explain my idea. Not that they're gonna grade me right now. I just wanted to talk about it just for myself. I just wanted to explain my idea. So what happened was in 2014, I was in a relationship with a guy from Romania who was a taxi driver, and we dated for 1 year, and then um, after that I broke up with him, and so I broke up with him in 2015, and then in the start of 2015 I broke up with him, and then in the end of October 2015 we got back together, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Anyway, so my performance was about me going clubbing, and no taxi drivers would pick me up, and that was in 2016. And the reason why they wouldn't pick me up is because I broke up with my boyfriend, and then he told them not to pick me up. And I was with my friend, and it was about 3-4 in the morning, and we were waiting for the taxi, and there was a taxi parked outside, so I went to the taxi and I said, is this taxi for me? And the guy said, what's your name? And I said, Monica. And he said, no, sorry, this isn't your taxi, and he drove off. And that's how the night went. A couple of drivers did that, and that's because they all knew him, and and he told them not to pick me up, which was wrong because it was late at night, and it's dangerous to be waiting outside a club. So yeah, that was my performance, a solo performance. That's why in the end where I'm calling for a taxi, and so that's what my performance was supposed to be about. But it wasn't completely about that, but there was also a deeper meaning in my performance. In 2015, September 2015, me and my friend went to Spain. A different friend. We met in college when we were 16. So by the time I went to Spain, we'd known each other for 3 years. And before going to Spain, about 8 months before that, I remember my ex-boyfriend told me I shouldn't be friends with that girl, because she'd always flirt with my ex-boyfriend, and he didn't like it. He told me, what kind of friend does that? What kind of friend flirts with her best friend's boyfriend? Which is true, but I didn't think much on it. I understood that it was wrong what she did, but anyway, I don't know, I just didn't think anything of it. I thought she's being a bit mean, but I didn't think that she was being malicious. Or anyway, so September 2015, we went to Spain, and in Spain she had a friend from back in England, and her friend was a holiday rep in Spain, and anyway, so one night in Spain, me and my friend Beth and her friend Kathy, we were having some drinks, and she introduced us to my friend's friend introduced us to her friends, and there was a guy in his late 30s, and his sister, and his mom. So it was me, my friend, my friend's friend, this guy, and his sister and his mom, and we were all having drinks together. And then in my hotel room there was me, my friend, and her friend's friend staying together, and there was only 2 room keys. and they both had one each, so I didn't have a room key. So anyway, in that night, we were sitting in an outdoor bar area, and we were having some drinks. Then my friend's friend said she was tired, she was going to have an early night, and she went. And then the guy's mum and the guy's sister also went as well. So it was just me, my friend, and that guy left at the table having some drinks. And I remember my friend, she kept pressurizing me to have more drinks. I had 2 cocktails. And normally, well, especially, normally when it comes to cocktails, when I was a teenager, I loved cocktails, and I'd had quite a few. But that night, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like when you have this like scared feeling, like I don't know, like a gut feeling that I don't know. I don't know. I only had 2 cocktails, and I don't know why. I didn't want any more than that. I felt nervous. I don't know. I can't explain it. Anyway. So I had like half a glass of cocktail left. Then I went to the toilet, and then that guy that we were sitting with, he follows me to the toilet. And I said, what are you doing? And he said, there's cockroaches here. And he said he thought that I'd be scared. And I said, fine, go back to the bar. And he did, even though he was drunk, thankfully he respected that, and he went back to the bar. But what pissed me off is that my friend stayed at the bar. Like, we were sitting with a guy that we didn't know, and then he follows me to the toilet, and then rather than being a good friend and making sure everything's okay, she didn't come and check, which I thought was wrong. So anyway, I went back to the bar area after that, and my friend Beth was sitting really close to that guy, and she was whispering something to him, and they were laughing. And my drink was on the table, so I finished my drink, and not knowing that she put something in there. Anyway, so some things happened, and luckily, even though she spiked my drink and I drank it right away, luckily, thank God, it had like a delayed reaction. So when I drank it, I felt fine. I wouldn't have even known that there was anything in there until I got back to my hotel room. After that, I can't remember anything. All I remember is leaving the bar, and then my friend she went up to that guy and hugged him and whispered something to him, and then ran after me. And anyway, I got back to the hotel, and then after that, I don't know if I went to bed or I can't remember going to bed, but I remember waking up the next morning and my head was spinning, and I just felt really, really tired, and it's not like me to not be able to get up the next day, and to sleep that much. I'm not really a heavy sleeper, but that night, I don't remember, and even though it's been 6 years, I still can't remember what happened after I got back to the hotel. And even though I felt really tired, and I don't know, just, I couldn't remember what happened after I got back to the hotel. I still never thought that my drink was spiked. Um, until like a few days later, I went to the airport and they wouldn't let me on the plane. And they made me do some drug tests. Um, anyway, so even though I knew that my friend spiked my drink, rather than confronting her and having it out, you know, or dealing with it right away, we got back to England. To cut the story short, we got back to England. Her boyfriend and her boyfriend's mom picked us up from the airport. And then in the car, I said to her boyfriend, Jack, I said, Jack, did Beth tell you what happened in Spain? And she cut me off. She wouldn't let me finish. And I had two minds. I thought, should I tell him what happened and what she did? Or leave it. So I decided to like forget about it and just walk away. I never spoke to her after that, but I never told her boyfriend what happened, or I never told her parents. I just cut all contact with her, and but because I'm not really much of a thinker, I'm not an emotional person. I don't. I actually thought that I got over it. You know, I let it go. But then 2 years later, that's when I did my solo performance. And now, watching that performance back, I realised that in one scene where I have a sip of a drink, I stare at the glass and at the bottle, like thinking, what the hell's in this? And when I watch that bit back, I can tell that I look angry. And well, then I realised that it was because of what happened in Spain, and it just made me think that even though it's been years, I've carried that around with me, all because I just didn't have it out with her. I didn't confront her. But now I realise that you can't close your eyes, because someday you're gonna feel, and when if you don't deal with the situation straight away, you end up making bad choices, and it's not nice to carry something with you, you know. So now that if someone does something, or something happens, to deal with it straight away, to talk about it straight away, not hold it inside and then carry that around. And a month after I came back from Spain, I remember my ex-boyfriend texted me randomly to ask me if I enjoyed my holiday. And because of what happened in Spain, rather than if I had just dealt with it, sorted it whilst I was there, it would have been better. But instead, when my ex-boyfriend texted me, I thought, well, she spiked my drink, and for your best friend to do that to you for no reason, all out of being jealous. And I thought, hey, I might as well get back with my ex-boyfriend as well. So then, then I got back with my ex-boyfriend for wrong reasons, well, not because I wanted to. But now I realise, now that it's been a few years and I'm grown up, I realise it was wrong, and that I should, and I will always deal with the situation right away. But I remember a few months before I went to Spain, I always remember my ex-boyfriend told me, don't get close to that girl, because she'd always flirt with him. And I remember one day he said to me, think about it, what kind of friend flirts with her best friend's boyfriend? And well, he's right. And one year before I went to Spain, when I was in college, we went to a college trip to London. And then looking back at the photos, I realised that that girl Beth who I went to Spain with, I realised that she looks like a real psycho. One second, look, this is a photo from 2014. So it doesn't look so. Doesn't that look like the face of the serial killer? Seriously. No, because I was only 18, I didn't really think, I didn't really notice that, you know. Now seeing that photos, I realised that even when I was in college, she had bad intentions. But now that I've spoken about my solo performance and what happened in Spain, I can let that go now and move on. Something else. A year ago, or sometime in July, I went on the motorway somewhere, and it was a long drive. It took me 4 hours to get there, and then it took me 4 hours to get back home. And a day before I went on the motorway, someone took air out of my tyres, out of one tyre, the back tyre, and I'm a really good driver, but I know nothing about cars or how to put air in tyres. Luckily, in the petrol station there was this old man, and I asked him, would you please show me how to put air in my tyres? And he did it for me, and he showed me how to do it. But when because someone deliberately took air out of my tyres, and I drove on the motorway. When I got to my destination, I felt like I couldn't be present in the moment, which is why in July, when I went to where I went, I just felt like I wasn't present because I was nervous about having to drive my car all the way back home, and I passed my driving in 2018, and a car's meant to make you feel free. It's meant to take you places, but ever since I passed my driving, it's done the complete opposite to me. People keep vandalising my car, like spitting on it and tampering with it and stuff. So that's what happened in July before I went to the motorway. But anyway, there's one last thing I want to say. Even though I enjoy acting a lot, and that's always been the career path that I want to go in. Recently, this past year, I realised that I'm kind of good at writing songs. I don't want to be a singer or anything, but I've written about at least 15, 16 songs. 1 second. I'll read one. I feel crowded in an empty bar, lost on the right path, losing at my winning game, drunk at the dawn of dreams. I need a shooting star. A life full of sinners, I'm hiding from the dark. They're all around me, like poison in the veins. That's the beginning of one. And there's another one. I've got this loads. Your words are the lies. Your words are the lies I want to hear. Your eyes are the truth I don't want to see. Your hate is a pain I don't want to feel. I'm in the arms of a stranger that I know. I gamble my heart every time I'm with you. No matter how hard I try to reach you, I run out of dice to throw. I guess it wasn't in the cards, so I'm throwing my last dice. I'm giving you my all. I just read parts of the song, you know, a bit from the beginning, a bit from the middle, a bit from the end. Yeah, so I've written quite a lot of songs. They're not all downers. There are some uplifting ones. But I was hoping that someday I could there's someone that I know, that I met, that I kind of know. Yeah, someone that I met last year, and I feel like if I gave these songs to him, I feel like he would make good music out of it. I feel like yeah, it's he's good at playing a guitar, and then well, I'm hoping that he would like the songs. I don't know anything about. I can't play guitars, or I'm not good at making music or anything like that. But I think he's really good at making music, and I think that if I gave him the words, he would find. He would, you know, he'd bring the music to life. He would bring the words to life, and he would make it sound good. And even though I'm a girl and I wrote the song, a guy can still sing the song, so it's not like a song that only a girl can sing. It's you know, a boy or a girl can sing it. So I'm hoping someday I could give these songs to this person, and I hope that he would like it, and I hope that it's not that I don't want to do acting anymore. I do still want to do acting, but I just thought that I this would be a fun thing to do, not just for me. I think he would enjoy it too, because I know that he likes music, and I know that I don't know. I thought that it would be fun to do. I'm just gonna stop talking. Thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.